The words of the Malka, king, prophecy and the instruction with which his mother disciplined him, and she said to him, Wo, Emuai son, and wo, son of Emuai womb, and wo, son of Emuai vows. Do not give to women your strength, and all your ways to those who destroy kings, Molkin. Be warned, about kings, Molkin, about kings who drink wine, and the rulers who drink strong drink. Lest you drink and your understanding be confused, and you pervert the judgment of all the children of the poor. Give strong drink to mourners, and wine, to all those bitter of soul. And let them drink and forget their poverty, and their misery let them remember and more. Open your mouth for those who have an justice, and judge for all the children of oppression. Open your mouth and judge righteously, and judge for the poor, and the needy. Woman of valor, who see and find? Her worth is more than good corals. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will not be shamed and all lack. She brings him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and linen and works with the desire of her hands. She is like the merchant ships, from far away she brings her food. She rises at night and gives food to her household and tasks to her teliota, maidservants. She considers a field and takes tea, and from the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. She girds her loins with strength and makes firm her arms. She tastes that her trade is good, and her lamp does not go out at night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her palms hold the spindle. She spreads her hand to the poor, and she extends her arm to the needy. The people of her house do not fear snow, for all the people of her house are clothed in scarlet. Covering she makes for herself, fine linen and purple are her clothing. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits with the elders of the land. She makes a cloak and sells a tea, and a belt she gives to the merchant. Strength and splendor are her clothing, and she laughs at the day to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise and call her blessed. Her husband rises and praises her. Many daughters have done worthily, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceit and beauty is vain. A woman who fears Elha, she shall be praised. Give her from the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates.